I would like to call to order this July 5th, 2022 meeting. Would you please rise with the Pledge of Allegiance, a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Kluskevich?
Here.
Ms. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Strong?
Here.
Mr. Redinger?
Here.
Mr. Sykes? Ms. Lloyd and Ms. Lowenbecker are not here.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to report on our last executive session. We discussed personnel and potential litigation. No action was taken. At this time, do I have public comment on agenda items only? Seeing no public comment, agenda item number 1.
Do I have a motion to approve council meeting minutes for June 21st, 2022 meeting as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Kluskevich, second by Councilor Miller. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 2.
Do I have a motion to approve payment of bills as shown on the accounts payable list dated June 30th of 2022, which is for the period of June 17th through June 30th, 2022, and to ratify approval of such bills already paid, and to authorize the appropriate officials to take required actions to make said payments?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Kluskevich, second by Councilor Strom. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 3.
Item number 3 is our 2021 audit, and with us tonight we have Brian Marchuk and Scott with Brown Schultz, Sheridan, and Fritz to give us a presentation.
Thank you, gentlemen.
I think we're going to try to present it on your back screen here. You should have a packet in front of you. That's actually the ICDA audit. That's been finalized, so you have the hard copy. The audit that we're going to present tonight is in draft form. However, we're not expecting significant changes after this meeting once it's approved. Like I said, I'm Scott Henry. I'm the senior manager on the audit. With me is Brian Marchuk. He's the principal on the engagement. I did want to start by saying thank you to Sally and Linda and their team. It takes a lot of work to perform an audit, and a lot of hard work by them went into this. So I just really appreciate everything they did. I'm going to, if I can give you like page numbers to scroll down.
Okay.
If you go down to, it's probably around page 4. You just keep going down. Yep, right here. So this is your independent auditor's report. This essentially tells you our responsibility, your responsibility as management. It will look a little different from last year because of the way the report was meant to show this year. However, we were able to issue an unmodified opinion. That's the best opinion that we're able to give. It essentially says that your financial statements are materially correct and in accordance with U.S. generally accepted auditing principles. So again, that's the best opinion that we can give. I'm going to give you a couple of highlights. If you can go down to probably go down 3 more pages. This will then be your statement of net position. This is essentially your balance sheet. This is on the full accrual basis of accounting. You go down to the next page. I'm just going to hit one highlight at the bottom of this page. Yep, perfect. That's your net position. As you can see at the end of the year, your net position was about $36 million. Again, this is the full accrual basis of accounting, so it includes capital assets. You'll have your long-term debt. You also have your pension and OPEB obligations. So that's showing $36 million is essentially your retained earnings. Now that's broken up into 3 categories. You can see here, it's your net investment in capital assets of about $34 million. So that's your capital assets less your debt. Then you have some restrictions for electric trust, program purposes, and capital projects. That's approximately $11 million, leaving an unrestricted deficit of about $10 million. Now that's a little deceiving because included in that number is the service concession arrangement that you have with your water sewer fund. If that was removed, you'd have about a $27 million of unrestricted net position at the end of the year. Very strong position. And that's actually an increase for the governmental activities of about $3 million from last year, and an increase and a decrease to your net deficit of your business type activities of about $2 million. I'm going to go relatively fast, but if you have any questions, please stop me. If you go down 2 pages, this will be your statement of activities, also traditionally known as your income statement. If you just go down a little bit, you'll see your changes in net position there, or your net income of about $4 million during the year. This is actually an increase from last year of approximately $800,000. The reason for the increase primarily was due to increases in taxes, primarily EIT taxes, residents getting back to work, brought in more revenue there. And then also your pension and OPEB plans had a very good year for investments. So you saw all those liabilities actually become a net asset at the end of the year. Now, again, that's just as of 12/31. You know how the market is right now, that you could show a pretty significant loss on those investments. It's just a snapshot in time. Another item that we like to look at is your unrestricted net position compared to your expenditures, and how long you'd be able to operate if, say, you would get no revenue coming in. We calculated about 32 months worth of operations for the governmental funds and approximately 30 months worth of operations for the business type activities. So and that's excluding the deficit in your water sewer fund. So again, very strong net position at the end of the year. If you go down 1 page, this is your balance sheet of your governmental funds. This is probably more what you're used to seeing on a monthly basis. This is on the modified accrual basis of accounting, so it does not include your long-term items. You can see here, if you scroll down just a little bit, you had about $14 million of net position or of fund balance here. That's actually an increase of $1,100,000 from last year. To explain that, if you go down, let's say 3 pages, it's to page 10. One page up, please. You'll see here, this is your income statement for your governmental funds. You had a net change in fund balance or net income of $1,100,000. That's actually a decrease from the prior year net income of about $500,000, but that was because in 2020, if you remember, you received some CARES Act funding that you did not get in the current year. Now, you did get some ARPA funding, however, you did not expend that. So once you expend those funds, you'll have the revenue, and then you'll have the expenses at that time. Currently, it's picked up as a liability. But overall, very strong fund balance, increase in revenue, as I said, again, because of EIT taxes primarily. Your expenditures were a little bit less than budget if you would have removed the dissolution about the ICDA, which I'll show in a second. If you go down 2 pages, please. Yeah, perfect. This is going to look similar to the first report that we showed. However, this is your business type activities. If you go down to the next page, please. You'll see this is your water sewer fund and your electric fund. You just keep scrolling down just a little bit. Here, your water sewer fund. Sorry, just a little bit more. Your water sewer fund had a net position deficit of about $13 million, as I alluded to earlier, because of the service concession arrangement that gets amortized over the life of that arrangement. However, your electric fund has had a very strong net position of about $26 million at the end of the year. If you go down 1 page. This will be your income statement for your business type activities. A couple of things to point out. The first column is your water sewer fund. You had a net change in net position of about $300,000 of a decrease. Again, that's more of an amortization depreciation item. Your electric fund had about $1.7 million of net income in the current year. Again, very strong. It's a decrease of last year just because of some more transfers to other funds during the year. And then that second to last column, the $531,000, that's the dissolution of the ICDA fund. Essentially, that you took the assets and you put them in the general fund So the general fund just shows a transfer in, and then they show an expenditure for those funds. So if you do a budget versus actual comparison, that's where you're seeing expenditures related to the ICDA fund. And then if you go to the next page, this is your cash flow. This is one of my favorite statements because you can actually see how cash was generated for the business type activities. At the top there, you'll see net cash provided by operations for the water sewer of about $420,000. That's the payments that you're receiving. And then the electric fund was able to generate about $2.5 million from operations, which then can be utilized for transfers out, capital asset purchases, and then also debt payments. And then that second to last column there you can see is the dissolution of the ICDA again. If you go down 2 pages. As I alluded to previously, your pension plans, now this does not include the liability, but you had assets of about $35 million at the end of 2021. If you go down to the next page. The income statement here, you can see each of the plans had a pretty strong net income in the current year, overall of $3 million for each of your plans. You'll see net investment income of about $4 million during the year. So again, 2021 was a great year for your investments. You may see a little bit different when we come into 2022 here, but you had about $4 million of net investment income contributed, included with your contributions of $1 million was easily able to pay for your benefit payments during the year, and overall a good net income of about $3 million. I'll turn it over to Brian now.
So I'm going to jump into the footnotes here. No need to, you don't need to worry about that. So the footnotes are just going to really just detail the numbers on the statements. I'm just going to give the overview of the most important areas. The first area will be your capital assets. That's your property, plant, and equipment. There's about $418,000 added on the governmental side. We're excluding the business side. I'll get to that in a second. So about $418,000 of additions, about $200,000 for the borough generator, and about $162,000 for police radios. A portion of that was related to a capital lease related to those radios. So right now, the value of the equipment on the governmental side is about $8.6 million. So that's net of depreciation, different than appraised value. So we're just talking book value here, so appraised value would probably come out differently. And there's also a lot of infrastructure sitting in there as well. So on the business side, that's your mainly the electric side. We have about $28 million of net capital assets. Not much in the means of additions this year, a little bit of construction in progress related to a Spruce Street project, but not much activity over on the business type side. In relation to your debt, excluding the business type again, so just focusing on the general fund side, the 2014 and 2017 notes, there are about $177,000 of principal payments made during the year, and there was a capital lease again for the police radios of about $82,000. So going into 2022, about $320,000 we owed on the 2014 and 2017 notes, along with the capital lease. On the business type side, about $455,000 will be owed to Water Capital Partners in relation to the additions or improvements they made to the utility system. So that's actually going to be deducted from the service concession arrangement payment is what happens. So going through the next couple of years, that amount will be subtracted from the $630,000 that's received annually. The last item I'll go over is the pensions and the other post-employment benefit plans. So as of 12/31/2021, the police pension is an asset. It's an asset of about 108%. And what that equates to is about $730,000. So again, this is a snapshot in time. Last year, 2021, had an awesome year for investment earnings. I think if we looked at this alternatively right now, it would be a slightly different. I don't know if it would be a liability, but it would probably show a different picture. So we're seeing at about 108% for the police pension. For the non-uniform pension, about, it's actually 118% funded, which is about 2.2, almost $2.3 million. So again, that one had another awesome year with investment earnings. I suspect that will also be different if we look at it from today's point of view. The other post-employment benefits, that's the medical given to retirees. For the police, that sits at it used to be a liability as of the beginning of the year, as of the end of 2020. At the end of 2021, it's actually a asset, and it's because, again, those positive investment earnings earned on that. So it's an asset of about 110% of funding that's necessary, and it's about $457,000. Again, snapshot in time. If we look today, it'd be different. And then the final one will be the non-uniform, other post-employment benefits. It's about 147% funded, and it's sitting at about $2 million. So as of 12/31/2021, the plans are in real healthy shape. We'll have to see where they end at the end of this coming year, seeing that we have a good amount of opposite investment losses. So we do make a point in the financial statements just to discuss the American Rescue funds that were received during the year as well. Just to keep in mind going forward, as those funds are spent, whenever you get over $750,000 of federal spending in 1 year, you have to get what's called a single audit. And that's a compliance-based audit where our firm would come in and we would test the compliance on that spending. So with that American Rescue Fund money, I'm sure in 1 year, it's most likely it could exceed $750,000 of spending. It's not what's received, it's what's actually spent. So that is the audit for the ICDA and the borough for 2021.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Yep, you're welcome.
A lot to unpack, but thank you.
Exactly. If there's any questions, you can let Scott or I know, and we'll get back to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 4,
On number 3, do we have a motion to accept the 2021 audit reports for both ICDA and the borough as presented?
So moved.
moved by Councilor Kluskevich, second by Councilor Miller. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 4, the caustics presentation will be postponed till next meeting. Agenda item number 5.
That is the ordinance number 1394. Do we have a motion to adopt ordinance 2022-1394, granting the Director of Finance and Administration the authority to grant electric service medical extensions?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Kluskevich, second by Councilor Miller. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 6.
We have a motion to authorize a transfer of $50,000 from the general fund to the fire apparatus sinking fund as per the 2021 budget.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Kluskevich, second by Councilor Strom. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 7.
Okay, and agenda item number 7, there's 2 parts to it, so we're going to have 2 motions. Okay. The first part is, do I have a motion? This is for the 10% fund surplus transfer. Do I have a motion to authorize a transfer of funds in the amount of $258,077.80 from pooled cash to the stabilization fund as per the 2021 budget?
Second.
Moved by Councilor Strom, second by Councilor Kluskevich. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next motion.
Part 2 is the 30% evaluation of assets. Do we have a motion to authorize an adjustment to the general fund and electric fund to meet the 2021 audited evaluation of assets?
Second.
Moved by Councilor Strom, second by Councilor Kluskevich. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 8.
Do I have a motion to approve writing a letter of support for the Historical Society to apply for a grant from the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission and Pennsylvania State Historical Records Advisory Board in order to digitally preserve their records?
So moved.
Second. Moved by Counselor Kluskevich, second by Counselor Strom. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Oppose? Motion carries with one abstention. At this time, do I have any general public comment? Mr. Still?
Citizen Jack, what's the caustic project?
Come to the next meeting, and you'll find out.
They're going to make a presentation, Jack. They're coming to us to make a presentation on some property. So we don't really know the full amount of what they want to discuss.
What property?
You'll have to wait and find out.
It's in the borough. I don't know which, I can't give you an address.
The suspense, Mr. Still.
If you want to call me tomorrow, Jack, we can find out. I mean, I think it's property that was in the floodplain area.
We don't have the partial numbers on hand, but it's property in the borough.
This agenda item was added mistakenly. It's supposed to be on our workshop report as a discussion, not an action.
Yes, it was my mistake.
At one time, there was property in the flood area. Well, never mind. They had property in two flood areas, off of Emall Street and off of out where you live, so it's kind of curious.
Any other general public comment? Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn? We will be going to executive session. We will not be returning.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everybody.
You can go.
Great.
Why are they suing us?